everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I have Apollonia here with me and we are beginning to celebrate the upcoming event of Halloween. And yeah, so what I decided to do today was something a little bit different. So I know I've got Apollonia here with me, but what we were going to talk about today was something that I've been asked outside of snake keeping, and it is my favourite horror films. So yeah, that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. I've had this little girl out for about 5-10 minutes already, so she's busy exploring everything. But yeah, anyway, so without any further ado, I shall just get straight on with the video, and thanks very much for watching. Okay, so let's work sort of backwards in a way, I suppose. The first film that I really enjoy watching around Halloween time, and sort of just throughout the year to be fair, was actually the Blair Witch Project. I'm a massive fan of found footage horror films. I don't know, they're somehow a bit more sort of believable. You know, you can imagine yourself in a sort of similar-ish situation, and you know, holding a camera and all the rest of it and going through the woods or wherever and being creeped out. But yeah, the Blair Witch Project from 1999 is defo one of my favourite films. When I first saw it at the cinema, it really creeped me out. Excuse her. It really creeped me out, and I actually stayed over at my friend's house after we'd been to watch it, and there's woods near where we used to live, so we kind of avoided any woods when we were walking up the road back to our houses. So yeah, anyway, I stayed at hers because we were both like really scared and stuff. I know it sounds silly, but yeah, so it's about three film students that go into the back hills of Burkittsville in Maryland, and they go to investigate this Blair Witch. I think her name's Ellie Kedward, not me. They go into, you know, the woods, and they go to these different sort of landmarks, you know, where things have happened. And yeah, so the creepy stuff sort of happens even from the first night, where one of them said they heard, like, you know, a cackle or something. No, not on my makeup. Where he said he heard a cackle, and even when I still watch that film now, I think that's so creepy. I mean, if I went camping in the woods and heard that, I'd be well freaked out. But you know, from then on in, they're going deeper into the woods and getting more and more creeped out, and with different things happening. And yeah, I mean, I don't really want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't actually seen it yet, but I don't really know anyone who hasn't seen the Blair Witch Project, because it is a classic. I think it's got a really good story behind it, and also I think when the film actually came out, everyone thought that these three students had gone missing, and there was even like a documentary, and you know, these people saying, oh, my, you know, kid has gone missing and we haven't heard from them for ages, blah blah blah. And then obviously it came out that it wasn't a real thing, it didn't really happen and all the rest of it. But the people that developed the Blair Witch Project film, they had a whole website and everything, explaining stuff that had happened in the past. And as I say, at that time in the late 90s, everyone thought it was real and all this had actually happened. But it was definitely a great sort of promotional thing for the film. So yeah, so that's one of my favourite films, and as I say, I don't want to spoil it for you all, but I think it's incredible, and it's incredibly creepy. Even the end credits with those random sounds that you can hear, yeah, they're creepy as well. So anyway, so my next favourite film is The Craft, and that's from 1996, and it's about 4 schoolgirls. They're sort of, I guess, in the last year of school or whatever, and yeah, there's 3 of them to begin with in this coven, and then those 3 girls decide they need a 4th witch to join their coven to call the 4 Quarters. And yeah, and everything's great to begin with. Everything, you know, is sort of, they're casting spells on people and, you know, stuff like that, people that have annoyed them or whatever. And as I say, to begin with, everything's all hunky-dory. And then as the film goes on, things start to happen, because one of the girls is, you know, like a sort of positive white witch, as some people like to say. I just call them positive good witches, but anyway. And the others are more on the negative side, especially Nancy. Feruza, I think it's Feruza Balk who plays her, and she obviously takes the magic to like a sort of darker place. And you know, in the end, let's just say, I don't want to give too much away, but it doesn't end very well. So yeah, it's very kind of teenage angsty, you know, with witchcraft intermingled. And what's interesting actually is, I think Feruza Balk, she actually practices Wicca. She was kind of, I think, sort of one of the consultants on the film as well, because she knows a lot about that. So yeah, that was interesting to learn. And yeah, I think she's a great actress as well. But yeah, I mean, that's another classic film, witchy sort of film that I enjoy watching. And as you can see, there's like a witch theme running through my video today, because obviously I am a practicing witch myself. But anyway, so yeah, so that's a really good film, really interesting to watch. And obviously there's a few bits that are Hollywoodized, as it were. But the rest, you know, a lot of the sort of elements of that film are kind of what witches do. But obviously there will be witches that do bad things and cast spells on people. But then, as I say, with, I think it's the character of Sarah, she's like, as I say, the lighter side of things and the more positive. I'll stop babbling on about that film. But yeah, so that's another great film to watch, and if you haven't seen it already, do so. Okay, so the third film, or films, that I love, I'm actually going to say it's a franchise, and it's found footage yet again, which is Paranormal Activity. Now, if you haven't seen any of those films, go and watch them. They're great. There is an amazing story. It does involve witches pretty much summoning a demon at some point, and that affects the character of Katie and Mika in the first film. It also affects Katie's sister Christy and her husband Daniel and their family in the second film. And obviously in the second film, Christy's given birth to a baby boy called Hunter. And in the third film, it goes back in time to the 80s, where Katie and Christy are little and they come into contact with this demon called Toby, but they don't really realise that he's a demon. I think they just see him as like sort of like a, I don't know, ghost or something. And then you're introduced to Lois, who is Katie and Christy's grandmother, who is a witch and has, you know, got a lot to do with this Toby. The fourth film is about Hunter, Christy and Daniel's baby boy, and it's about, he's been adopted out to a family. And anyway, so, and it's all the stuff that happens in there, and how, you know, they're just showing more and more of this witchy theme. Yeah, so the fifth film is like a standalone film, and it's, yet again, it's kind of showing how these witches have somehow hypnotised women into sort of giving their firstborn sons away, as it were. And the main character, called Jesse in the fifth film, he has, you know, been marked from, you know, even before he was born. So his mother was somehow, I don't know, hypnotised by a witch that lived below where they live. And, you know, so basically the child is going to be promised to this demon, and he's obviously been promised to this demon, and that's where all this building this army of firstborn males come from. And obviously they think there's going to be some sort of a war, so I'm guessing there's, you know, they're building this army for a reason. It focuses on him and how he gets to be 18, and then things start going wrong for Jesse, and his best friend's kind of involved, and this, that and the other. And I think it's a brilliant film. It's probably one of the better ones, I believe, in the Paranormal Activity universe. And yeah, so as I say, that's just an example standalone film is showing how all the boys are marked from birth and all this kind of thing. So yeah, and last but not least, the sixth film, it focuses on a little girl, her family, and you know, they move into where Katie and Christy used to live when they were kids. That house got burnt down or whatever, and then another one got built on top, and that's where this little girl called Leela and her family are living. And anyway, yet again, weird creepy things start to happen, and it works out that Hunter from the previous films and Leela were born the same day and the, you know, same year and all the rest of it, and they're the ones that have kind of got to give a drop of their blood to help bring this demon to life, to have like a human body. But yeah, I mean, that's probably not the best film in the franchise, the last one. It's not the best film, but it is good, and I think they could have carried on from that. But as I say, with this new Paranormal Activity film that's coming out very soon, I can't remember the name of it now, but I think it's going back to when the witches first summoned this demon for wealth and riches. But as payment for all of this, these witches have promised a male heir. At some point a male will be born throughout, you know, that particular witch's family, like with Lois, Katie and Christie's grandmother. So she basically has promised Toby, this demon, you know, a boy. And obviously then Hunter's born, and it kind of goes from there as well. So sorry if this sounds a bit higgledy-piggledy, but the films are a bit higgledy-piggledy. I mean, if you really want to watch them in a chronological sort of order, the first film you should watch is the third one, then the second film, then the first film, and then I would say to watch the fourth film. I'd say the fifth film's kind of standalone, so you know, it doesn't really matter that much when you watch that one. But the last film is obviously, you know, the final film that you should watch, and it all comes to a conclusion and stuff. But I've actually seen deleted scenes, and I think I wasn't happy with the ending of the last film, of the sixth film, The Ghost Dimension, that's what that film's called. Because I've seen a deleted scene that would have been better as the end of the film compared to the actual ending and what happens. So but yeah, anyway, if you haven't seen those films, go and watch them, they're absolutely great. So yeah, so they're my, I was going to say top 3 films, but top 2 films in a franchise. I will be doing more Halloween sort of spooky type videos as the month goes on, as we're in October. So, and I'll be having these guys with me. It was Apollonia's turn this time, so so if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and when you do subscribe, hit that bell button so you get updates on all my latest videos. And if you have any questions, please pop them in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer them. But for now, from myself and Apollonia, it is goodbye, and we'll see you in my next video. Thanks very much for watching.